simply because they are Muslim?
I think a pilot has got responsibility for the safety of his people on these planes and for his aircraft, and he can remove anybody that he wants to if he feels that they're unsafe. This is America. It was founded on godly principles. If these people don't like it over here, take a camel and get back where they were.
Wow. Thank you very much for the call. And then on Juan Williams, now with Fox News, and I think we argue well from NPR, don't you, Juan?
Yeah, I tell you what, it's what got me fired, saying that, you know, if I see people dressed up in Muslim garb, it makes me anxious, especially after 9/11 when I'm getting on an airplane.
See, I feel the same way, and I'm wondering, what do you think of this? It happened, I guess, over the weekend. This pilot said, I'm not flying with these two guys on board.
You can say that. I think they can say that to people who are drunk, people who are misbehaving. I don't think it has to be in terms of someone who, you know, makes them anxious because of being a Muslim, or I don't know if they're, you know, speaking in Arabic or whatever, or loudly or whatever, or behaving in an erratic manner. I'm really not what they call the previous call was that talking about.
No, not even this. And here's the thing, Juan. This is a pluralistic society with people who've come here for hundreds of years because of religious freedom. I'm for maintaining it, but I respect captains of boats and planes and spacecraft and everything else. They should have the right to have the final judgment.
Well, you can't do it on a discriminatory basis. You can't say, hey, you know, I don't like blacks or Jews, and therefore you're not on my plane. But if you're doing something, if the captain, man or woman, has a reason to say something is going on here that makes me uncomfortable, then I am with the previous caller and saying he's in charge of the safety. He's responsible for the safety of his passengers and his aircraft, and he shouldn't do anything that he thinks is putting those people at risk.
Maybe behavior and totality of circumstances. We used to joke right after 9/11 that we were all going to end up flying in airplanes with just a jockstrap and tennis shoes because they were going to want everybody down to where you couldn't carry a weapon, and we would joke about that. But I'll bet if you showed up dressed inappropriately, a captain would say, that guy's not getting on my plane.
You know, for sure. I mean, it's a shame what you have to go through now and all the changes since 9/11, but part of that has to be that people would use their gut, you know, their instinct to say something's wrong here and I'm not comfortable.
I'm talking to Fox News political analyst Juan Williams. Hey, Juan, tell me this. Are we going to watch the president sending signals right now that he's going to cut back the very military that just scored this victory on bin Laden?
Tell me, I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, no, they've appointed the former Office of Management and Budget Director to lead the Defense Department, and that this guy has a history of making cuts. There are folks who are seeing this as a sign that the White House is going to make some of its heaviest budget cuts where it has to in the military rather than in other areas.
Well, I think that's inevitable. I mean, President Bush was doing that, Don Rumsfeld was doing that, remember, with all the base closure ideas and also trying to eliminate some weapons programs that were redundant. But, of course, all the congressmen, especially if they have the production in their district or they have a military base in their district, they want no part of military cuts. But if you look at the budget, if you're serious about budget reduction, we're not only talking entitlements like Medicare and Medicaid, you've got to talk defense. Our defense budget is fat. I mean, there's just no question. So, you know, but the thing is, it's politically Teflon. It's invulnerable. The minute you say, oh, you know, we can't do this, the contractors, the lobbyists, the people who've been feeding it to Trump, they start waving the flag. How can you dare talk about cutting the military?
Well, see, I wouldn't disagree with you that we could spend more effectively, and that there certainly are examples of government waste in the military. We've got troops still in Iraq, troops in Afghanistan. We've got troops now. We've got forces that are playing a role through NATO in Libya. So can we afford major cutbacks in the military that would actually make a big difference in the current deficit?
Oh, sure. A lot of these weapons programs are just crazy. I mean, they've got plans for things that are anachronistic laws, things that don't even fit into our plans for military planning anymore, but the Congress won't let them eliminate them. I mean, so It's just like a puzzle. Everybody says, yeah, that should be cut. And yet when the budget comes out, it's still in.
But when you say anachronistic, wasn't the stealth bomber designed originally for a dust-up between the United States and the Soviet Union?
Right.
And then we found out that even after that was over and the Cold War was over, it turned out to be a very handy weapons platform that was useful in non-Cold War.
Yeah, but that's not a good argument because, look, I mean, you can say, well, anything theoretically might apply in the future in some circumstance that may be unforeseeable. That's true.
You mean like the Delta helicopter?
Well, no, I think that's a great one, wasn't it?
And we only had a couple.
Right, but that's something that everybody has been dreaming about for a long time, and here, they're in the planning process and clearly approved. But it's not something that is without reasonable application at this moment. In fact, we just saw it applied quite practically and successfully. Oftentimes, we're talking about things that no one else is figuring out planning. I wish I had a good example of mine, but I don't.
I know what you're talking about, though, and I would agree with you on some of those. I'm talking to Juan Williams. Last issue, before I hit the break in a little over a minute, Arizona going to the Supreme Court. Jan Brewer says she's sure the court will overrule the federal government about SB 1070 on the illegal.
I think she's wrong. You know, the courts have been very clear, and it's not Republican judges, it's not Democratic judges, it's all judges at this point. You just can't violate the Constitution, which says that controlling immigration is a federal province.
But if all they're doing is enforcing the existing federal law, that's like, the state of New York arresting somebody on cocaine. Cocaine's a federal law, but New York certainly arrests people for having cocaine, doesn't it?
No, they have local laws that don't contradict the federal laws. In other words, and if the FBI comes in, or any kind of, the drug enforcement agency, those people come in, they are the ones who have to carry the case license. It's not local. So, yes, you can have laws, but the laws cannot contradict or supersede what the federal authorities are doing.
Hey, you got a book coming on?
The end of July. You're so kind to mention it, Mark. So please, I'll be on the lookout. But it's kind of early, but it's puzzle that it goes back to just where we started the conversation. You can't say what you feel like that's like the captain on that ship.
We'll get you on. Juan Williams, the Northern Voice Show. Coast to coast to 9010 on KSMX. I'm Professor Burke from the University of Harvard, where we list agents, intellects, and Pisces search centers, and this is a pop quiz. What is the best way to save on insurance if you own a car and a house? Should you A, sit down with a farmer's agent to combine your policies into a delightful savings sandwich, or B, keep separate policies? The answer, A, talk to us and pass the mail.
We are insurance.
We are farmers.
Call a farmer's agent to see how you can save on auto and home insurance. Find your local agent at farmers.com. And now, the lightning round. Old MacDonald had a farm. What did Old MacGregor do? Correct. Finish this. Even alfalfa. Correct. How fast can you take TV? Remember?
Anderson Motors, home of the High Your neighborhood automotive care center on the Central Coast, providing the service and parts necessary to help you maintain your vehicles in top condition for maximum safety, maximum economy, and maximum performance. As your neighbor for over 50 years, you can trust Iverson for all of your automotive needs, from parts and service to a quality pre-owned vehicle.